Two big interviews with two key players in the Zimmerman trial. First up, the juror known as B37. 37? Okay, explaining why she voted to acquit. Listen.
I think George Zimmerman is a man whose heart was in the right place, but just got displaced by the vandalism in the neighborhoods and wanting to catch these people so badly that he went above and beyond what he really should have done. But I think his heart was in the right place. It just went terribly wrong.
Well, we also heard for the first time since the verdict from the last person to hear from Trayvon Martin. Here's Rachel Jeantel, one of the prosecution's star witnesses, with her thoughts on the jury and that infamous cracker remark.
Well, the juries, they see their fact. None offense to the jury, they old. That's old school people. We in a new school. Our generation, my generation.
Let's talk about creepy ass cracker. People have said that that is a phrase used by black people, cracker, to describe a white person. Is that true?
That's a person who act like they're a police, who like a security guard, who acting like, that's what I said to them. Trayvon said, creepy ass cracker.
So thoughts, Bob?
Well, I can only say that when the juror said that his heart was in the right place, but he overreacted and did something he shouldn't have done, I don't know how she comes to a not guilty verdict based on that, one. Two, I think that the cracker remark is something that was probably a mistake to say it. It is a common word used to describe white people in black neighborhoods. But it underscores what she's saying here is there is a lot of anger in the black community. And you can't change that.
Do you know the origins of that term, cracker?
Cracker? No.
Don't go through it, because if it is, whatever. Let's move on. Greg?
I think she should come up with creepy ass crackers, and they could be like graham crackers for the Halloween.
And sell them.
Yeah, and
you
sell
already
them.
had that idea, though.
I did. I have a lot of dumb ideas. I'm just amazed that Piers Morgan can speak so well without a chin.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Dana, did you see these interviews? Any thoughts on either one of those?
Well, no, I did not watch them live. I saw a lot of the Twitter buzz about them. Went back and looked at it a little bit later. I was surprised. Why does he ask her about the way that she speaks? So could you please spell that for us? I mean, really? I thought that was insulting. There's a great insult in England when they call somebody a big girl's blouse. And I think that fits him, a big girl's blouse. Such a blouse. You know, like blouse is it's an English thing, Anglophile thing. I could spell it for you if you want.
Okay.
I just thought that was insulting. I thought it was insulting to her, I guess. I mean, but maybe everybody else loved it.
I did.
No, you thought it was insulting to her?
To her.
To ask the question?
Yeah,
no,
why do you?
I think if you watch the whole thing, he was setting it up so she can explain what was going on with the way she was speaking, and she did. She said she has an underbite that could be corrected.
No, he said, "How do you spell cracka?" That's it. And he's like, "Is it C-R-A-C-K-E-R?
Honestly, I gotta be honest with you.
Is there an E-R on the end?"
And I don't know Piers Morgan.
But why would he even ask that?
I bump in. I think that was set up. I think that was set up specifically by her or her attorney, who was sitting there right next to her, to say, "Ask me about this because I need to clarify where I was."
Why doesn't he go back to his home country?
I don't. I actually
Is she an illegal alien, by the way?
I think it's
I actually thought that she appeared to be exploited by Piers Morgan.
I thought so.
I thought that he was very... It was just a very disrespectful interview, I thought, to her, to the black community. I don't think it helped at all Trayvon Martin's legacy in the black community at all. He asked her, Eric, beyond that, to get into the N-word. Then they started to talk about Trayvon's weed smoking habits. She was being exploited by that show. There was nothing funny about it in the studio audience whatsoever. I thought it was terrible. But the interview that Anderson Cooper did with the juror, I thought was excellent. And it shows exactly how the system works.
I'll tell you one thing.
6 women, split decisions. They had to look through the letter of the law. And under the letter of the law, they came to
We would have died for that interview. Let's face it.
Yeah. Either one of them we would have died for. We would have done it. But I will tell you, I watched the whole thing. It was a very long, extensive interview. I didn't see it that way. I don't love Piers Morgan, But I'll tell you, I don't think he was condescending to her in any way,
I don't
shape,
think
or
he
form.
intends to be, but I would say, so look, you
He's
have
British.
two women on this panel who watched it later, and that's we haven't even spoken about this. So independently of talking to one another, we come up with the same conclusion. I mean, and maybe that's one of the things.
But did you guys
about.
both watch the full?
No, I couldn't
it was
stand
a
it.
substantial amount of time.
What is this?
Because when you do, you get.
Yes, I watched both interviews, and I also, and I don't know, Dana, how you feel about this, but the all-female jury, I also don't appreciate the veiled remarks that they're stupid and they're too dumb to come to a logical conclusion. I believe Jesse Jackson said if it were black men, men would have been able to figure it out.
Well, that's
not
different.
6
Now
women.
you're talking about Rachel Jeantel's answers to Morgan's questions. Go ahead.
She insulted the jury too.
Listen, Morgan,
Right.
the last
No,
person.
listen, I'm not
jury.
defending Rachel Jeantel's responses. I'm simply saying if you watch that interview, there's no one on that sits and does interview shows on this network who would have said no to that interview. Nobody.
They would have never treated her like that at this network.
That's right. The last person that ought to be interviewing blacks about black culture in America is some snotty-nosed Brit. He ought to go back across the pond is what he ought to do.
All right, last thought.
I was too busy watching Nancy Grace. I realized she looks like a jack-o'-lantern in a Justin Bieber wig.
My God.
She
Thank
sees
you,
no
Wow.
harm. No, the reason she sees no harm in sensationalizing any kind of like horror, whether it is fact or false. She doesn't care. It's amazing.
All right.